Today I want to talk about human beings being frugivores. That's right. Human beings are, again, this is another area we've been brainwashed and conditioned in. And as a result, we're dying prematurely from diseases of all kinds because we've been brainwashed and conditioned away from our natural eating habits. Human beings are not carnivores. And if you don't know what a carnivore is a meat eater. Human beings are not carnivores. Human beings are not omnivores. Human beings are not herbivores. Human beings are frugivores. What is a frugivore? You've probably never even heard of a frugivore before. And I know this has been my experience because up until, I want to say, I'm 51, which is really young, but I'm just saying, and if you want to compare that number to other people, it could be seen a little differently. What I'm saying is I've been here for a minute. That's what I'm saying. I've been on this earth for a minute. And I am just hearing the term frugivore, I'm going to say less than 5 years ago. I had never heard it prior to that. So, what is a frugivore? Because chances are somebody listening to this has never heard of that either. So, a frugivore or a frugivore diet. I'll say it like that. A frugivore diet is a diet which consists of primarily fruit. And then it also includes nuts. It can include seeds. It can include vegetables. Basically it's all plant-based. That's a frugivore diet. Now, I like to simplify things. So when I look at nature, what nature reveals to me is that every species in nature eats its food in its natural state. Period. And we're no different. If you remove the labels, you remove the titles, we are no different. We also, if we want to be in alignment with the laws that govern good health, then we also are to eat our food in its natural state. And, the foods that we are designed to eat, all species, we eat in its natural state and it's delicious to us, right? In its natural state. That's important. That's super important. So, there's a lot of debate about this, a lot of going back and forth. Humans, like people that eat dead animal flesh. Let's pause right there. Because what these people, whoever these people are that are kind of like putting out all this propaganda and you know, that are pushing their agenda through the media and through, you know, the people that are kind of in control over the brainwashing and conditioning of the masses, and that determine what they want us to believe, right? And push that message through all the social media outlets. I forgot where I was going with that. So I'm going to have to just go a different direction. Maybe I wasn't supposed to go that direction. So I'm going to go a different direction. I got it. I was talking about meat. So what these people do when they want to condition you and brainwash you to accept their programming, their agenda, you know, the first thing they do is they change the name of it. Because nothing that they want you to do is good for you. Nothing is good for you. And if they don't change the name, you're less likely to be brainwashed and conditioned, right? So, I mean, I give you a lot of examples of this, but I'm trying to stay on topic. But when it comes to meat, that's the first thing. Well, I can't say it's the first thing, but that's one of the things they did. They changed what is meat really? It's not meat, right? It's dead animal flesh. That's what you're really eating. Dead animal flesh. But they changed the name to meat, to steak, T-bone steak, ribeye, hot dog, sausage, bacon. You know, they change it's all the same thing. It's all dead animal flesh. And not only it's dead, rotting animal flesh. It's basically roadkill that wasn't killed on the road, right? Because from what I've read, by the time, you know, if you go buy meat out the grocery store, by the time you buy that meat, it's been dead for about a month. And so the total process is unnatural, right? Excuse me. It's completely unnatural. So, of course, they have to do things to make this dead, rotting animal flesh last long enough to make it to the grocery store so you can buy it. They do things to change the color of it, to give it that pretty reddish color, to make it more aesthetically pleasing, right? Because our senses kind of govern our decisions, and they've learned how to manipulate our senses, right? So like when you see a pack of meat or a pack of dead, rotting animal flesh in your, you know, supermarket, meat market, whatever, you're looking at a lie, because it's not really that color. It doesn't really look that beautiful. And it's not what they title it or label it as. Prime rib, you know, and what's that one? Filet mignon, you know, all these different names. It's all the same shit. It's all dead, rotting animal flesh. Okay, so first thing they do is, well, again, I don't know if it's the first thing they do, but one of the main things they do is they rename what they want you to accept. They give it a more pleasing name, a more enticing name, a more attractive name, right? Because would you buy it? I mean, preconditioning, if you seen a pack of dead animal flesh and it was labeled dead animal flesh, like, would you buy that? Probably not, right? So, boom. So they changed the names of shit to make it more appealing, right? Okay, so from here, where am I going to go with this? Because it's just like I was driving and I just hit a fucking wall. Like, I literally had no direction. Okay, so we are not. Okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go back to how all species eats their foods in their natural state and enjoys it. It's delicious to them. Humans are no different. And, we think we are because we have like a higher level of consciousness and intelligence than all other species, but we're actually using this higher level of consciousness and intelligence, in a self-destructive way. That's why we have hospitals and they're full of sick people and people suffering and dying prematurely, because we're using our higher level of consciousness and intelligence in self-destructive ways. We're using it and actually destroying ourselves with it instead of enhancing our lives with it. So this is how. I mean, there's so many, like, it's so obvious, but again, the brainwashing and conditioning, it makes it not so obvious. But if you look at a real carnivore, look at his teeth. Like, look at your teeth. We have flat teeth. Carnivores have, and you could say, yeah, humans have canine. We don't have, look at a fucking lion's canines. Lions have canines. Like, them bitches long as fuck and sharp as fuck. And they have a lot of them, right? Their teeth are not designed to eat fruit. They're designed to eat dead animal flesh. We don't have teeth like that, right? There's just so many directions I want to go with this at the same time. It's hard to stay like on one course. And I'm not really trying to focus on meat, but I'm going to stay here for a little minute. Look at how much shit. Now this is law. Now I'm going to repeat this again. What I said is law. That when you eat your species specific diet, and all species, all of us, all of nature, we all have a species specific diet. Now, when you're eating your species specific diet, you eat it. It's something that you can eat and enjoy in its natural state. There are no exceptions to this except human beings. But that's only because we are violating nature's laws, right? That govern health. We are not complying with our species specific diet. We've basically said, fuck that shit, and we've just went our own way. We're doing our own thing. as human beings and with the higher consciousness and intelligence that we have, we've created our own diet. And because of it, we're dying prematurely. We're getting sick. You got hospitals all over the city, just full of people suffering all types of different diseases. That's the result of a people or a species trying to do their own thing and straying away from nature or what's natural. So look at how much shit you got to do to be able to eat it. It's like we are so fucking stubborn and just adamant and so insisting on creating our own diet. Like we don't want to follow nature's laws. And we are so stubborn with this and so persistent. Like, and again, it's because of the brainwashing and conditioning, which is done for profit, for reasons of profit. Because there is no profit from a healthy person. And you can't control a healthy person. You can't control the mind of a healthy person. A healthy person is dangerous to, these powers that be, whoever these people are that are trying to control the masses. A healthy person is dangerous to these people. And you got to understand that trillions of dollars are being made every year off of sick people. So part of this agenda is to eat meat. They push us in the direction of eating meat or dead animal flesh because it's profitable. It's insane how many diseases, dead animal flesh is linked to. Only when eaten by humans, though. The number 3, the number 2 deaths, the number 2 causes of death in the world right now is heart disease and cancer. And meat, dead animal flesh, is linked to both of them. So look at how much shit that you have to do to eat meat. Remember, the only thing you are supposed to eat if you want to be healthy is things that you could eat in their natural state and that you like in its natural state. This means no seasoning, no cooking, right? That's not natural. So, they kill a cow or a pig or whatever. And, behind the scenes, they do all this shit. They inject this fucking animal with who knows what types of drugs and, hormones or all types of shit. It's just really it's a fucked up industry because there's so much effort required in living an unnatural lifestyle. And there's just a lot of unnatural practices involved, which cause unnatural consequences, and it's impossible to trace. So, behind the scenes, they do their shit. Like I said, they inject the meat, whatever they put in it, whatever. They kill it, they blah, blah, blah. When you get it, like I said, it's been like about a month since it's been dead. you get it and you have to season the shit out of it, right? A real meat eater, they don't need seasoning. A real meat eater will eat the shit just like it is. And they're not discarding anything. You know, if a lion catches, its prey, say like an antelope or something, it's not pouring the blood out first. It's not separating the organs and only eating select cuts of meat. A lion is eating every fucking thing. And the nutrients, like most of the nutrients are in the blood. So when, humans trying to be meat eaters discard the blood, that's one of the first things they do. There's all your nutrients right there. Right? So meat, like the way humans eat it, is completely nutrient deficient. The organs. It's a lot of nutrients and minerals and vitamins or whatever. I've heard there's no such thing as vitamins, whatever. Let's not get hung up on that. Are in these different organs, like the fucking kidneys and liver and, shit like that. Gallbladder, intestines, blah, blah, blah. Lions are eating all of that shit. Humans are grossed out by that shit. They're grossed out by blood. Well, most of us are grossed out by blood and internal organs. You're fake. You're not a fucking meat eater. This is why you don't eat the whole thing. And lions don't cook their food. They kill it. They eat it right on the spot. They tear it apart with them big ass canines and them big ass claws they got. Like, look at our fucking fingernails. I'm not talking about women that wear them long ass fake fingernails. I'm just saying our natural, like, I can't tear apart any fucking flesh with this. These fingers are for peeling fruit. They're for peeling fruit. Like humans don't have the ability to chase down a fucking antelope and kill it and eat it right on the spot. That's what a fucking meat eater does. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to be something that we're not. And we're suffering for it. And we're not making the connection because we're so fucking brainwashed. To the point that we don't even want to hear this shit. Right? Because we think we love meat. We think we love eating dead animal flesh, but we don't. Because we have to season the shit out of it and cook the shit out of it. And then we got to sauce the shit out of it after that just to be able to eat it. It's so obvious. And then you wonder why, there's over 500,000 people dying every year from heart disease. And I seen these statistics, there's close to 500,000 people dying per year off of cancer. And both of these are linked to eating dead animal flesh. You're not a fucking meat eater. You're a frugivore. And frugivores' main diet is fruit. Fruit. Like, look at the contrast. Fruit is bright in color. Right? It's appealing to the eye. It's attractive. Naturally. Right? You eat it, you don't have to do shit to it because it's so fucking sweet. I'm trying to keep this video short. Humans have a sweet, what we call, the professional term is a sweet tooth. We like sweets for a reason. And that's another sense of ours that's been manipulated for profit, through the creation of sugar and all these different artificial sweeteners, right? If you look at like eating meat, for example, like say like you barbecue some ribs. Most people are not eating their ribs without barbecue sauce. Why? Because the ribs aren't seasoned well enough, and that barbecue sauce is sweet. And that's what makes it the perfect meal. We're just programmed to love sweets because fruit is sweet, and fruit is what we're supposed to eat. Like, you see how that works, how that's connected. Like, it's really like again, we've been so brainwashed and conditioned. But like, it's like foolproof. It's dummy proof. The way we've been created and the way we've been programmed, right? We like sweet things, so we would eat fruit because fruit is the best food on the planet for human beings, right? It's what we are supposed to eat. And so, just think about that. Like, how much do you eat that's sweet? How much do you drink that's sweet? Right? It's like every fucking thing. Nearly 95%. Like, if you have a burger and it has ketchup on it, ketchup is sweet. Like, how much other sweet cheese has sugar in it? Like, the bun has sugar in it. All of these artificial sweeteners, right? With one goal in mind, is to steer you away from your natural way of eating and to steer you down this unnatural path. Because eventually you're going to get sick. Eventually something's going to go wrong in your body. And then you have to go to the hospital, which you don't have to. I mean, there's other options, but this is what most of us do. We go to the hospital. And this is where their plan really starts to kick in. Because they've conditioned and brainwashed you into making yourself sick. They're not making you eat this shit, right? They just programmed you to eat this shit. And now you go to the hospital, right? And you got quacks. Hospitals are just full of quacks. There's no doctors in there, right? So you go to this quack that don't know shit about health, right? And they're not giving you no real answers. They're only talking to you about your symptoms. And they talk to you about how to suppress your symptoms so you can live with the disease forever in a, more comfortable state. So you can have the disease, but maybe you not suffering the pain or discomfort, or they can minimize the pain or discomfort. They can make it more bearable for you to live with this disease, but they don't want you to be cured, because then, if you're cured, you're not a customer no more, right? You understand this? Like, that is a for-profit industry. What they call healthcare is a for-profit industry. It's a business, and their customers are sick people. If there are no sick people, they have no income. They can't pay their bills. Like, you understand how serious this is? So, boom. You go to these quacks and they give you a prescription for a drug. So now you got the quacks making money and you got these drug dealers making money, which the quacks are drug dealers too. The quacks are the drug dealers and the manufacturers. Then you got like the kingpins that manufacture the drugs. You know, you don't even get to see them. But between these two industries, they're making trillions of dollars. And despite the fact that these drugs are making you sicker, they're fucking poisoning your body, they're killing people. I read a statistic, and I don't know how accurate it was, but it said that prescription drugs are responsible for over 300,000 deaths per year. I mean, we all know that, I'm pretty sure we all know, I don't think this is new information, that, you go see a quack for one thing and they issue you, and I don't mean quack in a disrespectful way. Matter of fact, I don't mean this. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. I'm about to read you the definition of quack, and I want to read it to you because I don't want to misquote it. But a quack, shit, this is coming up. Okay, a quack, a person who dishonestly claims to have special knowledge and skill in some field, typically medicine. So that industry is called healthcare. It's not healthcare because they don't know the first thing about health. It's sick care, because once you're sick, they want you to stay sick. But they also want you to live, right? They want you to keep the disease, and they want you to come to them for help in managing the symptoms, managing the suffering. So like I said earlier, they put you on a drug that can help make your symptoms easier to live with. You have the disease. It ain't going nowhere. That's not what they want. And a lot of times these drugs, which are poisons that you're taking, cause other problems, right? And then you got to go back to the quack and say, hey, I'm also having these symptoms now. And what they do, that's what they want, right? Because now they issue you another drug and you have to take this shit for the rest of your life. There's no coming off of it going this route. There are better options, but there's no, this route, you ain't coming off that shit. Like, my mom's been taking fucking thyroid pills for I don't even know how many, fucking decades. They control you now. Because if you need a prescription, you have to go to them. And, like with my mom, they won't write her a prescription after a certain period of time unless she goes gets a checkup, a physical. They want to run tests on her. Because ultimately, the age she's at, they want to prescribe her more drugs. They want to sell her more drugs. So they're looking for shit wrong, not because they care about her, because they want to make more money off of her before she checks out of here. Right? This is the game. This is how it works. So boom, now they issue you another drug to fight this new shit. But they're all poison. You are poisoning your body taking this shit. I heard fucking Les Brown talking, and Man, that dude said he was like, I don't remember the exact number, but I think he said he was on like 70 fucking prescriptions at one point. 70 fucking like what the fuck? I don't even know how he's not dead. And I don't mean that in no disrespectful way, but I'm just saying every single one of those prescriptions are poisonous. It's all poison. None of it's natural. But this is all caused by us veering off of our natural path. We are fucking frugivores, which means we should be eating mostly fruit. Or, okay, I'm gonna continue. We should be eating mostly fruit. You can add some veggies, which I've been reading the veggies are toxic and poisonous. I don't fuck with veggies because the law is it is supposed to taste good to you in its natural state. In its natural state, you should be able to enjoy it. This is what you should be eating. If you have to do shit to enhance the taste, the flavor, then that's not for you. And you can do what you want. I'm just saying it's not for you. You're off the path. So this is all what happened. I mean, these are just the consequences of living an unnatural lifestyle. We have unnatural consequences, and sickness and disease are unnatural consequences. These things are not normal. And that's another thing. We've been conditioned and brainwashed to believe that sickness and disease are normal. I looked up a statistic. I was like, what's considered natural death? And do you like, according to this statistic, which is completely false, 90% of deaths were considered natural. Only 10% of deaths were considered unnatural. And so I dug a little deeper, like what's a natural death then? Dying from sickness and disease are considered natural deaths. So if you die from heart disease, that's considered a natural death. If you die from cancer, that's considered a natural death. And I consider that natural bullshit, like 100% bullshit, because it ignores the fact that you must take responsibility. Like it ignores the fact that our diets, the things that we consume, plays a role. It plays a huge role in our health or lack thereof. All disease is diet related. 100%, no exceptions. All disease is diet related. And by diet, I mean whatever you allow to enter your body. It doesn't have to just be food. Right? So, shit. Like, there's so much I feel like I didn't even say. But I'm fucking almost 40 minutes in, and this shit needs to be said. And I need to say it. And so, I don't know, I might make another video, but I'm about to end this here because it's long as fuck, and it's going to take long as fuck for it to upload. But just take what I say and just think about it. You know, fruit is one of the very few things that you can eat in its natural state and enjoy. And it's the best food on the planet for a human being. Now, I've heard, of people that can eat asparagus and enjoy it, and eat lettuce and enjoy it, and, whatever, then that's food for you. If you can eat it in its natural state and enjoy it, then that's food for you. And this could be different, but primarily it's going to be fruit for everybody. I like nuts. I fucking love nuts. I get them raw. They're in their natural state. That's food for me. Seeds. There's some seeds I like. Again, I get them raw. They're in their natural state. That's food. So if you have to alter the state of what you eat before you eat it in any way, then that's not food.